Hoops 24/7 All-American Combine and Showcase. As Mike Mullins told you, my name is Brian Stinnett. I've been in the internet recruiting / rankings game a little over 15 years now. When I was at my pinnacle, what I'm most known for is Chicago Hoops. Was at a time when Chicago went through what I would call the greatest run of elite basketball talent that anybody on the planet has seen. When you start talking about the fact that Chicago produced Derrick Rose, Anthony Davis, Jabari Parker, Jahlil Okafor, we had a number of other guys who were big time as well. You know, we've got guys in the league who just got drafted in terms of a Frank Kaminsky. So I've been very fortunate in terms of doing what I do to be able to have been a part of that while we were booming. And I think you guys are in the process of being in a very interesting time in basketball. I'm sure everybody was able to watch the NBA Finals. We all went kind of crazy over Steph Curry, and we're watching guys like Draymond Green. But one thing that I think we need to learn and understand, man, it's not all about being 7 foot anymore. It's starting to become a little bit more of a skill game, a little bit more for the smaller guys. I was watching NBA TV a couple weeks ago, and I didn't realize what the Cameron Payne story was. But they started rattling off, I think he played for Team Thad on the circuit, you know, wasn't a starter for Team Thad. Now look where he is now. Goes to Murray State. After his sophomore year, he's lottery. Again, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. One thing that you guys have to understand is that in terms of the highest level, man, when I was younger, it was a veterans game. It was all about guys like Charles Oakley, Rick Mahorn. It was going to be physical. You were 19 years old when Kevin Garnett did his thing 20 years ago and went straight to the league. That wasn't supposed to happen. This skinny kid wasn't supposed to be able to physically handle that NBA pressure. Now the game is different. You 23, 24, you're a league veteran. One of the things that you guys have to be very mindful of, and I don't want to emphasize just the professional sides, because what basketball affords you is an opportunity to get a free education doing something that you love. But if you're going to devote yourself to the game, one of the things that we're going to do today is give you the tools that you need to take home with you to take your game to another level. But then also be mindful of what I just said about it being a young man's game. You know, we have a lot of sophomores here, guys in 2018 class, 2019, 2017 even. Think about it. When you watch the NBA draft, how many guys get drafted above their sophomore year in terms of the juniors and seniors? Not many. The reason I say that is to bring up the point that let's say you're a sophomore in high school right now. It'll be determined within about an 85 or 90% probability if you'll be an NBA guy in the next 5 years. Because by the time you're a sophomore in college, if you're not going up to that level, then typically the number of those guys who do get drafted and go on, that diminishes. So the other point I'm making here, and I know everybody, we've all got dreams. Hell, at my age, I still have big dreams. But now, you've got a chance to really focus on it. Your time isn't the future like it used to be. Your time is now. What you're doing now is going to determine your future a lot faster than what you think. And, you know, everybody, we do the internet, the rankings, guys pay attention to all the offers and everything else. Pay attention to what you can control, which is what you got right here. Because all the guys that are necessarily the highest ranked in high school, yeah, some of those are the no-brainers like Jahlil. Many other times, though, it's the guys that people weren't necessarily thinking were going to be NBA guys that ultimately make it. I can go back to 2006, and I was talking to the fellas a little earlier. Now, back in 2006 in Illinois, depending on who you asked, the #1 prospect was either John Shire, who went to Duke, or Sharon Collins, who went to Kansas. Hey, both had great careers. Both came out with national titles. Those were our top 2 prospects, hey, by me and everybody else. But that class also had JaVale McGee, might have been hurt the last couple of years, but $50 million later, JaVale McGee was in that class. He couldn't even get a high major to offer him. Okay, that class also featured another young man who just signed, what, $26 million contract? That would be Patrick Beverly, okay? The other point I make there, man, Patrick Beverly, man, that dude's got this right here. Senior year, him and Sharon went at it. I mean, that was a West Side thing in Chicago. Marshall and Crane, they went at it. But everybody, including myself, would have told you that Sharon is the pro. But guess what? Patrick Beverly got this. And what I'm telling you guys, man, believe in yourself, work hard, and understand your time is now. The next person I'm going to introduce you to is one of the finest basketball trainers in the country. His name is Jeff Pagliacca. He trains a number of NBA guys, the likes of Evan Turner, Frank Kaminsky, who just got drafted, Luol Deng, Harrison Twins, and also Patrick Beverly. I'm going to introduce Jeff. He'll talk to you guys a little bit, and then we'll get ourselves and get going. So without any further ado, Jeff Pagliacca.
Everybody 6'5" or taller, take one step forward.
Can you repeat that, please?
6'5" or taller, step forward.